Okay, we can start. Thank you so much to stay here. Thank you for Bright Festival. Is an Italy-based organization committed to promoting digital creativity and the international level. Today we're speaking about the crypto art, the digital art, NFT, like a new world to discover and revolution. Today with us, Joey Camacho, co-founder of AvantForm and crypto artist, is the name of Raw and Rendered. Welcome, Joey.
Thanks, guys.
Now, we are also with Kyle Sostek, 3D artist, animator, as the name is like a simulation lab. Welcome to us, Kyle.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, it's incredible what's happened for the art, for the sector in totally for digital art, for crypto artists, because we love now the incredible revolution. No, this NFT world is coming and change rules, give new opportunity about new artists, new collectors, and new dynamic. It's incredible what. With the last auction about Christie's, with the record sales, almost $70 million, with people change the rules of the art market, because now the NFT and crypto art is totally fully integrated in the art world. But we have so many things about that. We have so many things about the dynamic of the typology of the art market, the correction, the proposal of the artist, the line of exhibition, the roles of the platform, and also the difference between the physical and digital world. This is important things because today we assist an NFT world and dynamic typical of crypto art. We have a different community. We have also the Discord, Twitter, different contact between among collectors and artists. Also in the physical art, we have a totally different dynamic. We have a galleries, we have curator, we have museum, we have some step of valorization of art and for understand the value of artists and economical value. This is a pretty crazy, enthusiastic moment for the history, for changing the roles, no? And understand which kind in the next months these channels evolve and create new opportunity. Today we stay with the suspicion yet interesting by the traditional art system can involve new collaboration. Now we're waiting Damien Hirst with Palm, with the currency for a series of 10,000 oil paintings on paper made years ago and transformed into the NFT. Also Takashi Murakami with OpenSea, and he launched their NFT collection, but announced on Instagram, suspended to sales to conduct for future research in the world of NFT, to understand the different of typology of approach the traditional market with NFT, also the yours Fisher or marketplace. Now, you're welcome. We can start now with Joe Camacho. Joey, tell us more about Avant Art. Where born, why, which kind of different today in this world?
Yeah, you mean AvantForm? I think Avant Art is a different name, but yeah, AvantForm. Basically, a few years ago, I was kind of fed up with just like having to deal with a lot of licensing and jumping through hoops with clients, and I was creating like a lot of personal work. You know, I'm in my 8th year of daily everydays through progress before perfection, and so I wanted to have a place where I could license my work passively and focus on, you know, just doing my creative stuff day to day. And there wasn't really a lot of digital art kind of CG 3D centric spaces where I could do that and feel like my art wasn't being, you know, devalued. And so I looked at AF, we call it AF for short, to, you know, really, you know, provide like a solution for digital artists who wanted to focus more on their craft and like just make shit every day. And so it's kind of adjacent to crypto art, but we really saw a need to like highlight and bring value to like a community of digital artists really before NFTs were like, you know, exploded onto the scene. So, you know, we find that there's a huge importance to like retain, high value, in an era where like licensing images or licensing animations has really driven down, the value in a lot of mediums. So yeah, we're really carving out a space that's kind of, specific for like leading digital artists. It's highly curated. It's like, we really want to do this so that everyone, has a space to kind of craft their own voice before, all of a sudden you get, a huge wave of new creators that will kind of oversaturate the market, and because it becomes a new trendy art form. So yeah, it's really providing artists and creators with kind of like passive revenue. I've always been of the mindset I'd like to make money in my sleep and do my job from anywhere. And if I can be sipping margaritas on a beach somewhere and getting a paycheck, from passive revenue, then I think that's a great opportunity to have. So that's kind of what AF does. We license, ready-made assets from artists, to brands, studios, agencies, and other creators. And we also kind of provide custom content solutions to support kind of larger projects as well. So what's been really great for me personally has been seeing, some of my best friends, on a platform that I'm super passionate about, go on to, really explode onto some of these other scenes. Everyone from like Beeple to Fuck Render to Blake Catherine, there's a whole host. If you go to AvantForm.com, you can see that the level of pride that I have around the community that we were early adopters to. I think it's been really awesome to see the headway and them forging a path inside of NFTs as well. So, and I'm excited to actually be a part of that process. So it's pretty cool.
It's really excited about that, no? He's really pioneering that. You start a new movement, new vision, and new opportunity, no, for the sector. Kyle, what do you think? What's your name is, like as Simulation Lab. Why is born this name? What you tell us about your art and your digital art?
Sure. Yeah. So the name is a little strange. I guess when I first started, I first created the alias Simulation Lab. Well, one, it was available on social media platforms, so I decided to stick with that. It's because I wanted something that sounded kind of generic, but it might have a couple different meanings, which we could talk about. I guess it's a little bit long-winded, but regardless, yeah, I've been creating, I've been animating and creating digital art for almost a decade. I had a couple aliases before Simulation Lab, which I kind of like, changed my sort of artistic persona a little bit, experimenting with different styles in animation. But yeah, I studied architecture in college and fell in love with the craft of creating 3D art and animation while I was in school, and been sort of doing and experimenting with it ever since. So yeah.
When you started to the first creation on digital art and crypto art, when you starting? You started on Super Rare or other platform?
I originally started my NFT crypto art adventure on Maker's Place. Late last year, I got invited to experiment with the platform, and I really had no idea what I was doing. So, I mean, I've like, traded some stocks in the. I actually never bought any cryptocurrency before like September of last year. So I really wasn't sure how to go about minting an NFT, or like there really wasn't like the support system in this space to like help guide and shape the space to what it is today, if that makes sense. So like when I first started on Maker's Place, I had no idea this was going to turn into anything. So I put up a couple pieces and older pieces, you know, and I was just like, hey, you know, like whatever, maybe they'll sell, maybe they won't. I don't really care, you know? And so
It's real money. It's true.
yeah, it was. Yeah. And like, I quickly sold a couple pieces for not very much. And I was like, wow, this could really be something interesting, you know? And then all of a sudden Beeple came along and exploded, you know, the whole market. And like, there's so much attention on it all of a sudden, you know? And I got like hundreds of followers on Maker's Place. I was like, what is going on, you know? And I didn't, I haven't, I then recently, probably in January, I got accepted into Super Rare, which sort of changed the game a little bit because there is a different collector base. Um, and yeah, I'm a little bit more privy to like when and how much work I'm actually minting, what I'm actually minting. I'm like really conscious and aware of this sort of like quality that I'm deciding to put out there
It's
as
changed
NFT.
the approach, I think so, no? For the
Yes.
first test, for the first drop today, you're thinking much about the possibility. Which
Yeah.
kind the rapport with the collector is different? You say it's different typology of collector between Super Rare and Marketplace. Change the connection, the meeting, and the expectative, no? You speaking with your collection, with your collector?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there is definitely is like a close relationship that I have with a few of the collectors, and I think that's really important. And it's something that, for whatever reason, like yes, like you said, the topology of the different platforms, um, sort of it, right now there is some curation on some of the platforms like Super Rare, which allows for like a good collector base to thrive. Um, and especially since like, you know, they try to ensure like the work that's on their particular platforms is of some sort of quality, and it's not just like pictures of people's dogs, you know, and like just random
Yeah.
stuff that you find on OpenSea, um, which is really important, right? I think the collector, the curation is going to become.
This is, I think, so the key for the future, because the
Yes.
difference between collectibles and digital art, the key is curation, valorization, because you have a directly rapport with the collectors. In the physical art, sometimes you have a gallerist, intermediary, you have a museum to support the exhibition of art. This
Yeah.
has changed the roles. For that, Joy, what do you think? As an artist, you are an artist also, and we are happy to know your story about an artist. What do you think about this attention for the traditional and physical art world, like action houses, artists, galleries, to the digital art and world of crypto? What do you think for the future and the difference between?
Yeah, I don't have a ton of experience, Kyle, at, you know, the digital era. I don't have a ton of experience working with traditional art, you know, communities, to be honest. I don't, you know, with regards to like the similarities, it would be hard for me to speak to that. But what I found, I think the most interesting is that past, like I always say, like past performance isn't like indicative of future like results or returns. And that's like a famous, you know, it's a stock term. But for me and for, you know, other artists that I've seen in this space that have, you know, had kind of like incredible commercial success early on, you know, based off of their work. What's most interesting to me, it's kind of like a bit of a reset button, because now there's a community of like really, you know, like almost like unknown, you know, like these two worlds of digital art and crypto, right? Like those are two different worlds that haven't, you know, really synced up. And so now you've got collectors that are becoming more aware of digital art as like a collectible medium that has value, which I think is amazing. But, you know, for digital artists that have not experienced crypto, I think that, you know, there's a level of like knowledge and kind of immersion that needs to occur so that you can navigate that space with intention. And I think navigating the crypto art, or not even crypto art, but like the crypto community with like a level of respect that the digital art community, you know, they both want that. They both want the same thing. And I think that to me is as those worlds merge together, and, you know, the digital art and crypto find ways to create more value and more community and like a stronger presence in the mainstream, while really upholding kind of like you know, upholding like a pure kind of community. Because you're going to get like, it's less about, to me, like the traditional art space, but it's more of like the commercial kind of communities, the brands, you know, the opportunities. We're starting to see things like how you said you did something with Netflix, right? There's all these things that are going to start to, you know, like history tends to repeat itself, right? So are we going to start to see the commodification of NFTs, and how do you create, even inside of that commercial kind of like, you know, attention, how are you going to see new value be created in the underlying technology? Because Kyle, like for me, like, you know, I think a lot personally, like I see digital, when I say crypto art, I see digital artists looking at NFTs as the same thing. It's like, oh, I'm minting an NFT, right? And but in my mind, like I'm still learning about all the underlying technology under the hood of NFTs as a powerful tool in and of itself, not even considering what's attached onto it. Is it digital art? Is it, you know, documents? Is it something, right? So I think that for me is the most exciting thing about this, is that cryptocurrency, blockchain, and NFTs as like technology and community, and then digital art, 3D, 2D, anime, whatever that may be, those two worlds kind of colliding and figuring out what's to come, I think is really going to be a collaborative effort, so that it can continue to thrive in a way that's just continue to thrive.
Yes, it's really important to understand that so many people thinking about NFT only for digital art, but digital art existing for 20 years ago, and it's not correct to define that total digital art is crypto art or no. I think so. The NFT is like a medium, is an opportunity for the artist in different sector. If you are a 3D, 2D, illustrator and all, to stretch the technology like a medium, like a sculpture, like a wood, for understand your vision, your research of your art, and try new view for your artwork, for your vision. And this is most important. The community is the key now, because it's totally different. It's not correct to have to create a similarity respect the art, the physical art world and the crypto art world. Today is totally different. In the same, we have the possibility to have the same artist, but not the same dynamic or the same typology. And I think so is not a good one or other one. I think so in the future it can sync or no, but in the next month, in the next year, we have a new opportunities for the right part. The opportunity for the crypto art to go inside in the art world, and for the artist of the physical come inside in the crypto. But you need to respect the same rules, no? and that rules is different. And for that, Joy, what, in your opinion, what will be the future of crypto art or NFT?
No, I think, what will it be, or what will I hope it will be?
Oh, yeah,
I don't.
I love the two response now. Your two questions.
Yeah. Honestly, like, I think at first it was like, if it sounds too good to be true, is it too good to be true? And as I navigated this space, you know, and minted my first pieces, I was like, oh, like, no, like this is like a real opportunity. This is a real tangible opportunity. And I think, you know, Kyle, I don't know for you what the experience was like, you know, actually seeing money go into an account and like actually, you know, hitting your bank account, or hitting your crypto wallet, right? I think that is like, oh, okay, like this is actually, it's kind of a visceral experience a little bit. It's like, it's kind of, you know,
Make money from your art is like from digital art, you know, because I mean, we've been doing this for years, right, Joey? And like
yeah.
how much I mean, I've never ever sold a piece of my personal art for any kind of monetary gain before this, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean,
Like just because.
yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, it's a bizarre concept.
It's good sensation, no? To sell
Yeah.
your artwork. It's beautiful, no?
It really is, yeah. And Joey, you can feel free to continue with your
Yeah, I
with
would
your
just like,
prediction.
yeah. Funny, it's funny that you say that word. That's the name of my next drop, which is awesome.
Prediction, nice.
Yeah. So I think for me, I really like, I wouldn't have started AF if I didn't, you know, thought of it and was like, how can this be, you know, an opportunity for a broader community that hasn't really gotten the recognition and respect and opportunity that it deserves, like the value that it deserves. And I think you've got a ton of hardworking artists that, you know, have been in this game for a long time. And I'm so freaking proud that they're leading the way, that the artists that, you know, I respect and that I've seen. And I think what I'm most hopeful for, and you said it, Kyle, is like the level of curation is like ensuring that, you know, that level of curation is based around, you know, not, you know, it's not relying on algorithms, it's not relying on, you know, I think it, you know, there's this underlying opportunity for new artists that are just doing really amazing work but don't have, you know, the following, to kind of thrive and get that opportunity because they're just putting in the time and they are executing something really original. And then on the other side of it is ensuring that, you know, the artists that are, you know, popular for popular's sake are continuing to elevate their craft and find ways, you know, because the market is now so much more approachable, and the market is so much more, you know, like there's so much more opportunity available without some of those barriers. So I'm hoping that, you know, I think platforms, I think Alessio is now like the head curator at Super Rare, and he's got fantastic taste and it's not too subjective to like one medium. And I think that's going to be amazing. I've yet to apply there. So I think knowing that like platforms are respecting artists to recognize taste and be tastemakers and curators, you know, based off of things beyond like just, you know, algorithms and data, then it gives, you know, just truly good artists the opportunity to go out and crush it. So I think make hay while the sun's shining, but I also think that if that's the only thing driving you as an artist, you probably won't last long. And I think that, you know, for artists, it really allows them to just go out there and be themselves.
This is a really interesting view for the future. We started with Artrise with the blockchain in 2018 in the first summit of Christie's. We present our startup for, we use today the blockchain for certify the physical artwork. We have created the first passport for the documentation, for condition report, due diligence, provenance, and today we use that. When 2 years ago I go to speaking like a speaker or in Congress, we're speaking about the possibility to use the blockchain in the art sector, the people say, oh yeah, it's fantastic, go straight, no? Today, with the Christie's, the technology is not the problem today. The people want, okay, is interesting, we can go. We wanted to do the group. We wanted to sell artwork. And we have a new artist of physical artwork for me because I work in this sector. And they wanted to sell. We have a collector they want to buy. We have the galleries that want to sell and buy. And for that, this is a new opportunity. But it's important the change of point of view. It's changed the paradigm because today is not important the technology, but the market, the curatorial, the opportunity to involve in this market and to create. Kyle, the same question for you. We will be the future for the crypto art and your future in that.
Oh, you might be muted, Kyle. Oh.
Oops. No? This is the technology, no? This is a battery. 1 second, we lost your voice. Okay, we continue with Joy. Joy,
Yeah.
what do you think for the curatorial aspect for the show exhibition, like a virtual space, 3D space? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's
metaverse world, no?
I think I was talking about it earlier, like the NFTs and the technology isn't just like, I think it's going to really force artists, not force, but really get artists thinking about artwork as like as technology, like how can they create something that's more valuable or more interactive or more interesting. Like my friend Fred Fuck Render, like he created a whole metaverse, inside of a game and gamified his art and created an experience that is just, as a 3D artist, you might not even think of exploring that until you now have like collectors and a reason to do it, and I think now it's like a reason to explore other mediums. I think it's a reason for artists to go and explore, things that maybe have made them uncomfortable. And it just fine. I think it's going to get artists, for me personally, it's made me look at what are some other things that I can explore, what are things that I can take risks on, and hoping that the viewers or the curatorial teams or things like recognize that, they recognize growth, or they recognize authenticity inside of these platforms, and they take risks. I think that's going to be like a trust mechanism too, is that the curatorial teams or the curation aspect is willing to invest in artists who are really, expressing their true artistic voice.
And the validation is the artwork or the artist, because this is an interesting thing today. The validation is the market. If you see all platform, you have top collectors, top artists, but top collectors, top artists, top sellers, top buyer.
Exactly.
And this is not equality.
Yeah.
Or better, it's possible to use meritocracy because the people like that, but this is the key of evaluation, no?
Well, and it's like traditional markets in general. It's supply and demand, and making safe bets, right? Like making safe bets versus, investing in IPOs, right? Like, are you going to invest heavily in an IPO, or are you going to, invest in I don't know, an ETF that's going to, just that continually like produce, consistent, less risky returns?
This is the gambling. This is the bet, no?
Mm-hmm.
This is the change for the future. Kyle, you come back?
I think so. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, wicked.
All
Okay,
right.
it's perfect now.
Oh boy.
You're welcome. What do you think about that for the future, and also the metaverse and position, new model for exhibition of artwork?
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, we have barely scratched the surface. We have rubbed the surface at what is possible here with blockchain technology and smart contracts, right? NFTs. And I think it's going to explode in a million different directions from here, I think. And as far as the art space is concerned, I think it's going to become more refined with curation, and like that's what I hope it will happen, at least. And as far as my involvement in it, I want to continue, of course, making work and stuff and growing and seeing the space grow. But I think I don't know. I see there being a lot more collectible assets, different projects like that coming out, because they're pretty popular. I've already seen like a few different artists go in that direction of creating collectible collections, pretty much, rather than individual one-off pieces like a lot of us do. So I see that happening, and yeah, I don't know. I think there's such a huge potential for just like a really amazing artist. I mean, like we have like there's so many of the artists that I follow that are still not part of this movement yet, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, so I see that, I see the entire space becoming more interesting, but day by day. You know?
Yeah, I just to add to that, I think like as both parts, like the crypto technology space evolves and learns to see what's possible with digital art and with, you know, the technology, the underlying technology behind, you know, CG or 3D or 2D, like whatever it may be, there's a flexible nature inside of that creation. And so as that crypto art and like tech space discovers what's possible with the work, and as the digital artists discover what's possible with the tech and the stuff, I think you're going to find more things like, you know, the fuck renderverse, where it's like this, you know, big experience, or you're going to find, you know, more like collectible experiences, interactions that are based around art itself. And, you know, you're also going to see, I think, I personally believe you're going to see an evolution in like, you know, it's a digital renaissance, and there's going to be exploration, you know, but like I said, history tends to repeat itself, and you will see brands, like I said, I've already experienced, like, you know, Kyle, you've experienced brands trying to, you know, find ways to leverage the tech, but also engage the artist. And that's going to definitely be a thing.
Yeah,
And the
I mean, there's a lot of that. Yeah.
And the problem about accessibility of this technology, what do you think, Joe and Kyle? Or for the mass market, for the people can create a wallet, create exchange, understand the technology, understand the transparency. Because so many people, I wrote an article a few days ago and about the transparency, because it's beautiful for the crypto community, but in the art sector is not appreciated, because the opacity of the market is a typology for the roles of the players, and the people don't like to know how many money you have in your wallet, or where you're moving, or that's incredible. For that is different problem about total accessibility and use this technology. What do you think about that?
Kyle, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so as far as transparency is concerned, I think, I mean, it's of course a double-edged sword, right? I mean, like we want I think it's important for the space to be transparent to a certain extent, just because we want to see where the work is going and how much it was valued at when it was purchased and how much you sold it for. And, you know, I think that's really important data to have on the blockchain, right? And part of the smart contract, like as it goes from person to person, you know? And so that is like makes partially why it makes it non-fungible, right? Is because we know exactly the value of it, you know? And of course, the flip side of that is that you can see everyone, you know, it's transparent to everybody. Like you can see how much an artist has earned throughout their lifetime as an NFT artist, you know? So I don't know. I mean, like I'm sort of indifferent about it. Yes, I mean it's a little bit of a, you know, maybe security risk, or like, you know, you become a target if you're like, you know, somebody who has made millions of dollars, or you make millions of dollars per piece or something, you know. However, I mean, it's like easy enough to be safe with using a cold wallet or a hardware wallet, and to sort of have some kind of anonymity within the space as far as like the way that you represent yourself. So I think those are sort of like different modalities that people use to sort of conceal their, at least protect themselves a little bit. So yeah, I mean that's kind of my 2 cents on it.
Thanks, Kyle. And for you, Joey, this is the rules of the game, no?
What can you ask the question again?
About the transparency for the crypto, different between physical, no? Because in the crypto you can tracking the history of the purchases, you can see your wallet, where you move your phone, okay? And it's so different about physical art, and the physical collector don't like so much that. Is typically rules of the normal market, no?
Yeah, I think you know, to be honest with you, like I've been spending more time in like traditional art galleries to understand, I guess, kind of the conversations that occur there. And the fact that like the pricing's all visible in a traditional art gallery most of the times, right? If you want to buy something, there's a cost or there's a conversation, or it's visible. And you know, when something sells on Christie's, it's listed for, you know, how much it sold for, and you know,
It's only the auction houses.
Yeah,
It's only
fair
that
enough.
for the transparency, because the whole data for the most market report is
Yeah.
put inside only for the result of lot of the auction, because
Right.
this is
So
only the clear data in the art market, and their data
yeah,
support the valuation of the artist.
exactly. So, you know, I think it's I'm really processing kind of like because there's like a leaderboard, you know, the cryptoart.io site is very transparent. Well, even in and of itself, that's not totally transparent, you know, right? Because you, like things can be sent to other wallets or sent to other things, and perhaps, you know, that may be the same person. Like there's some anonymity to, I think I'm saying that right, to the blockchain, because not every wallet has a name attached to it, right? It can be an anonymous kind of purchase, which I've found interesting. But overall, I think it's good and it's bad, it's healthy and it's not, right? Because I think within the art community, there's this like self-worth, right? And now that there's a dollar amount attached to it, it can be very empowering or it can be very paralyzing. And I think that's the part where it's like, if you're going back to like the artistic aspect of it, it's really actually, you know, just making the work, you know, what's going to motivate you to make your best work, because that's really all you can control. You can't control, you know, what you're going to get paid for. You can't control if it's going to sell. So the transparency aspect, I think, more so the security and the technology. I think just like everyone signed up for Facebook when it first came out, and then they're like, oh, okay, you know, and then there was adjustments and security and like protocols. It's like, okay, you know what, I want to dial back this and I want to dial back that. I think we're still learning about what's possible inside of the blockchain, and I think there could be, you know, ways of improving it and ways of changing it. But you know, I don't know too much about the permanent restrictions that blockchain will enforce, just like these, you know, massive tech platforms or whatever have had to evolve over time to make it comfortable. Like you were talking about mainstream, right? Like a lot of people don't in the mainstream. If I talk to my grandma about blockchain, and she's not going to go sign up for a Coinbase account. You
Yeah,
know,
I
she's
think
like,
so. In the future, we have so
yeah,
many regulation about this market, about, you know, your customer process, about tracking the selling.
yeah.
Today, we're selling all of these documents without invoice. That's incredible, no? It's
I think that's
totally,
amazing as a ledger and as a trackable, you know, option. And to some extent too, like some sales that I've made have been transferred on to other platforms that don't honor the
yeah.
secondary sales market. So, you know, instantly everyone's like, oh, secondary sales. But then all of a sudden when you get into it and experience it, then you're like, oh, that's not always a thing.
Yeah, the interoperability of the platform is a really big problem, and the same,
Yes.
the side chain today we use, because it's possible don't fix the artwork in the contract, and also this is a technical problem. Kyle, the last question about your last exhibition project in collaboration with Wikipoint platform. What happened?
So I mean, like it's currently still sort of in the works as far as the virtual art gallery. I think it's a really interesting concept to just like a different like mode of like being able to see an artist's work. You know, having it in like a little virtual VR space, whatever. And the great thing about it is like you can access it from any device. Like you can pull it up on your smartphone and like walk around or like, you know, look around and stuff. And I think that's like kind of like an interesting way to view artwork. It's kind of like, yeah, like going into a physical gallery, right? I mean, you can like you go and check it out, and, like, sort of like feel like you're next to the pieces as they're sort of playing out or whatever. And I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, like of course I'm familiar with like what Decentraland is doing. You know, you can go to different plots of land and go to different like little virtual reality galleries and or you can go to different art galleries that are in this virtual space, right? I don't think you can put a headset on and go in there yet. I think it's being worked on, but yeah, I mean, I think the sort of like the idea of the metaverse and a lot of platforms that are trying to explore and experiment with like the ability to enter a virtual world and to like see these NFTs or like, you know, NFT artwork in like a real way, like a, you know, like a sort of like a tactile way. I think that's extremely interesting. So yeah, but with the WikiPoint project, I think it's really cool experiment, you know. It's really fun.
Okay, the people can see online that. The last question for both is, for closing, one suggest for a new NFT collectors and for emerging artists want to approach NFT. What do you say, Joe and Kyle? What do you suggest? Joy.
Okay. For both sides, I would say, you know, like any time investment or money investment, just do your research from both sides. As an artist, you know, make sure to do your research and understand, you know, the ins and outs and kind of the integrity of the crypto, not just the crypto art community, but the crypto community at large. And as a collector, you know, beyond just the platforms and, you know, what's on the front page, I think it's really important to do the research on the artist and make investments and invest not only in the work, but invest in the artist. And yeah, I think both sides, that would be my advice. Just do your research and get ready for a fun, great experience.
Great. Research and respect the community is the key also in the life, in the physical life. Thanks, Joy. Kyle.
So I would definitely suggest right when you get started, if you're either a collector or an artist, is just integrate yourself in the community and get on Twitter. I mean, that's where like most of the community lives. And of course, you know, like Clubhouse, you can pop into different Clubhouse rooms and just literally just talk to collectors and people who are creating in this space right now and ask questions. You know, like there's no stupid questions because this is so new, right? It's in its infancy. It's like not even in its infancy yet, right? It's just very began last couple months, right? So yeah. like you have to just
500 million in 3 months is
exactly
incredible.
It's insane. Yeah, it's just exploding. So what I would suggest is to just integrate yourself in the community, right? Learn as much as you can, and like if you're an artist, I would take it slow, right? Don't do what I did. Don't just like start minting shit like crazy, you know. I mean, I didn't mint like that much stuff, but like there's a lot of artists that'll just every day they're just minting a new piece or two, you know. It's just like, okay, you're flooding the market and you're gonna like, you know, mess with your potential of your own personal growth. So you have to take it easy, right? You have to, that's really the big suggestion I would make is just to practice patience, right? Like patience is the key in this space, and it's the key in the traditional art space too, you know. You're not going to make it as an overnight success like that, you know. Like it takes time, it takes, you know, prowess, you know, like it just takes so that would be really my main suggestion, is to just take it slow, practice patience, integrate yourself in the community, learn as much as you possibly can. And if you feel like this is like an interesting space you want to participate, that's awesome. You know, like you can maybe try to sign up for a few different platforms, but don't be discouraged if you don't get into super rare or like the big ones or whatever, you know. Just start somewhere. You know, I mean, there's a lot of really cool chains. It's like that are not necessarily Ethereum based, you know. The Tezos chains, I know Hicket Nunct. I always mess up the name, but that's
the clean NFT site.
The clean NFT, yeah. There's a lot of really cool chains that are, you know, that are being used right now for NFT art, and so like that has huge potential in the future, especially since the ETH2 rollout is taking quite a while. You know, we might see big progress near, you know, toward the end of the year, where we see the, you know, diminishing gas prices because of the ETH2 rollout. So till then, I mean, you know, like using proof of stake chains like Tezos, it's like a really interesting opportunity for new artists, you know. And like I definitely see potential in that. I would love to explore that, but yeah. So I mean, those are my like just baseline, you know, points for
It's
any
fantastic. It's precious suggestion. Thank you so much, guys. I think so. We have so many things for today. Thanks to Bright Festival. Joy, Kyle, you can follow them on Instagram, Clubhouse, Twitter, Discord, I think so. And for daily update. Thank you so much for all. Have a good day, guys.
Thank
you very
you.
much.